Alright, hello, welcome back to the podcast. Once again, everybody, PayPal and Patreon links are both down below for anybody who wants to support me. Only do so if you actually can. The US in the near enough future is going to be facing a mass internal migration crisis, primarily from the west and southwest. Why, you may ask? Well, because of this. This state of affairs, for all intents and purposes, is basically permanent now. It gets occasionally relieved for short periods of time by various rain dumps and the like. But as you can see from some of these reservoir charts, even extremely high precipitation years just sort of stall the inevitable. And this whole fever dream of tens of millions of people being able to live high consumption lifestyles, particularly high water requiring lifestyles, and for the concentration of high water requirement businesses and manufacturing plants as well to be all located in the middle of a desert, it's about to finally come crashing down. And so based on their usual annual percentage of volume loss, of a permanent volume loss at least, regarding the primary water sourcing reservoirs, the region has a few years left. Probably 2025 or so is about when it's really going to actually start. And so eventually, via any of various pathways, whether through restrictions on their ability to use water and also do various stuff, the departure of many businesses and job sites, the eventual multiplications of current water service bills, or in some places during sometimes when things get bad enough, actual cutoffs, people are going to start to be driven out en masse as they go seeking to live elsewhere in the country where they can return to and continue living in their regular living standards that they were now deprived of. That is the primary reason, although the unending tsunamis of wildfires across California every year now are also partly a factor. And so as we reach the later part of this decade, or the second half, everything is going to start picking up in numbers. Primarily, most of it will occur, I would suspect, during the late 2020s through early 2030s. We will likely see a internal migration within the U.S. of somewhere between 5 and 10 million people, as the combined population of California, Nevada, Arizona, and Utah is a bit over 50 million, I think like 53 or so. And the usual rough average when some kind of great catastrophe or life disruption comes to a region, the usual rough average of the departing population will be between usually 10 and 20%. So thus, obviously, 10 to 20% of rounding down to 50 million would be between 5 and 10 million. And thus, especially during the first several years of it, is going to result in a bit of a housing crisis, as the yearly construction amounts of houses and apartments and housing units, complexes and everything isn't really designed around sudden mass influxes of people by the hundreds of thousands. So that's going to cause a bit of an issue, and particularly as attempts are made to rapidly expand construction and everything, that will obviously create a surge in prices of construction materials. And over the past few years, for various reasons, we've seen record high lumber prices, over $1,000 per trading unit for the first time ever, as high as $1,600. When all of this gets started, we will probably be seeing lumber prices jump all the way up to, something beyond like $3,000 or $4,000. And an issue will quickly also be caused in the form of people not really having the money to actually afford new housing after they flee, because, eventually, once the message of the doom of the Southwest becomes clear, people aren't going to be racing in to buy all the homes and apartments for sale. So people are going to have to sell a lot lower than they would like to, at least at first, while there are still people buying them. Past a certain point, though, I think you're actually going to see housing scrappers as opposed to car scrappers, metal scrappers, electronic scrappers, people who buy like broken down cars and electronics off of you to like strip it for the valuable metals and stuff. After a certain point, once no one's like buying anymore, people trying to get out and at least have some money to work with are going to probably have to like sell their, at least people who have houses, not apartments, are probably going to have to sell their houses to housing scrappers. So that's a thing that's going to be happening, and that's also the end of this episode. So thank you for sticking around and listening. Like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you haven't already. Dozens, hundreds even of other episodes about all kinds of stuff you can watch or listen to if you want. PayPal and Patreon links are down below if you want to support me, only just so if you actually can. Go subscribe to my cat too. If she eventually gets up to 1,000 subs, then her channel can get monetized. And thusly, that's a second minor income source. But no matter what happens to me, may God bless and protect all of you, and I will see you all around next time.